The futureth of Star Wars movies is liketh that of lovers. There hasn't been an epic, bigger-than-life, mythological space opera that resonated with a wide fan base and got many people invested in the future of it, like Star Wars. Whether or not you prefer the prequels over originals, or originals over prequels, or only the originals, or only the sequels, or prequels over sequels, or sequels over prequels, or sequels over originals, or peace and war, or yada yada yada. That's irrelevant to the reality that it has been 4 years without a Star Wars movie, ever since the Skywalker saga has reached its end. It is now 2022, September, and yet the future of Star Wars is undetermined to a large extent. We got no confirmed release dates for any upcoming Star Wars movies, and there has been little to no talk of distributing another Star Wars film, or even what it's about. You know, let me tell you something that you might have noticed. Ever since Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was distributed into theaters on December 20th, 2019, Disney and Lucasfilms have allocated their budgets toward Star Wars television, not movies. There are shows like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, which is really The Mandalorian 2.0, Kenobi, the upcoming Andor series, which is coming out this month, Ahsoka, and as such, that's why it is no picnic to find some Star Wars movie news to share here on the Cinema Courtroom show, because right now, at this present time, again, we can see that the primary focus is television. We know Rian Johnson has a new trilogy in the works for Star Wars, but how long until that's even made? There is also none other than the big boss of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, who is developing a Star Wars movie. But so far, all it's been is talk, and no show. No movie has been officially greenlit, or had begun its early marketing phase. No slate has been unveiled at a Comic-Con convention, or, wherever. And at the time of this recording, I don't even know if we will get anything at D23. I have a theory that many of you might stand by. And if, for whatever reason, you don't stand by my theory, challenge it in the comment section below. Alright? I want you to challenge me. For the reason that it is my intention to foster a well-debated space on my show. That's respectful, of course. For a matter of fact, shoot me a message on Twitter, and I'll arrange to have you on the show. I will set up a call and reserve you a time slot for our debate. And I'm more than willing to compensate you for your time as well. So, that's on the table. All of that being said, here's what I think. I think that the future of Star Wars movies have been affected hard by the sequel trilogy, which almost more than half of the fandom despise and disassociates from canon. I really, really don't like The Last Jedi, but with all of its weaknesses and flaws, there are multiple storylines from that very movie that should have just remained consistent in The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due to The Last Jedi for actually not piggybacking fan service, which pertained to Rey's lineage. This allowed the Rey character to build her own identity from scratch, at least until the disgusting Rise of Skywalker movie came out. It didn't make sense for Rey to be related to Palpatine in any form. Why Disney thought it did? That's a second life mystery. The first life mystery being, are we living in a Matrix? Yeah. So, somehow, Palpatine has returned. If you're taking writing lessons. I dare you to do this. Somehow, X character has returned unbeknownst to anyone. Cloning or some crap like that. I absolutely dare you. You might even try your luck successfully and get employed by incompetent Disney employers that will offer you a fat salary to write a screenplay for their Star Wars sequels, if it means that they can supplicate short-term wows from the audience. And then, 1 second later, the audience, after their wows, will begin scratching their heads and thinking to themselves, well, that just happened. How did it happen? It happened, but I don't know the why it happened. I only know, what's there. And it's getting so darn confusing because they don't want to give us a proper explanation. My point is, fans of the Star Wars franchise are no longer having faith in the very future of Star Wars. Because, let's face it, we've had our hearts broken too many times. Okay? Let that sink in. In the beginning of the segment, I mentioned in bad Shakespearean dialect that the subsequent master plan of Star Wars is like that of lovers. When your lover breaks your heart once, you won't talk to them for perhaps a day or two. You take a break, and then eventually making amends is on the table. But you still have that icky feeling that they're going to do it again. But you try to convince yourself, no, we should forgive Star Wars for this one lapse of judgment that will never be repeated again. They're going to make things right. They're going to fix things for the future. While you're patiently waiting for the next Star Wars movie, you sense that things might not bode well in the future for you and your lover. In other words, it might not bode well for Star Wars and the vast majority of the fandom. But Disney is not going to disappoint you straight off the bat. Oh no. They want to twist the sharp edge nice and slow before they plunge the knife of Mickey Mouse in your delicate heart. First, they released a fantastic Star Wars prequel, Rogue One, which restores your faith in the monumental essence of Star Wars and rebellion. Woohoo! Star Wars has a future after all. But oh no. Oh no. The Last Jedi comes along. Tra-la-la-la-la. And you know what you do next? You take your lover's things and throw them out into the street. They, Disney, have defiled the Star Wars fandom. You don't want to look at their ugly faces again. You should have known. They shattered your trust the first time around. The Last Jedi excreted on the very trust of the fandom that Disney shamelessly capitalized on to sell toys, books, and Happy Meals of new creatures and porgs, which only serve as extras and are absolutely irrelevant to the plotline of the movies. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury and disappointed Star Wars fandom, you ask about the future of Star Wars movies. You ask why the future is uncertain. Here is your answer. That 52% score on Rotten Tomatoes for Star Wars Episode 9, just to quote the critics' consensus word by word, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker suffers from a frustrating lack of imagination, but concludes this beloved saga with fan-focused devotion. Okay, great. It had some fan-centered devotion. And it is because of that very devotion that many of us disliked the Star Wars sequels. There are some of you out there, and I think we should respect that there are a minority who resonate with the sequels, and that's great. I wish that had the same effect on me, but it didn't. So I envy that. Good on you if you enjoyed The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. And I think the reason why we as a fandom are very reluctant to what Disney puts out is because we were, in a sense, pre-Disney, committed to watching Star Wars all the way through. I'll tell you what, if they release Star Wars Episode 10, I'll go see it. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna like it. This leads to my main point. If not enough fans like and trust Star Wars again like they used to, I think that the future of Star Wars movies might be put on hold. Although, there is another trilogy in the works, and Disney has the pocket change. So maybe they might wait until the fandom recovers from the negative reception of the Star Wars sequels. I honestly don't know. This will remain a mystery, and we can't really know for sure when and what is next for Star Wars movies. Now it's up to you to answer that question for me. What do you guys think is next for Star Wars movies? Do you think we'll get movies as soon as later next year? Or maybe not until 2024? Or perhaps even later? Another 30 years? I would be very intrigued to read your insights in my inbox and the comment section below.